And here we are with another video. Yes, we're back in my garage. I want to again shout out the person that made a comment on one of the videos recommending that I do not clip or try to hang the bicycle from the frame, since that is possibly a bad situation waiting to happen. So I do listen. I have, clipped it on the seat stem instead. And anyway, yeah, so on the last video I talked about how I'm trying to buy maybe a camera and a cycling computer to have here. Like I said, I do have this quad lock, which I can put my phone on here so that I can record my Strava and just have a GPS on to see where I'm going. But I just feel like I need to get a camera to, one, provide more content than just my bicycle in the garage, for safety. And I don't know, I think it's nice to be able to look back on the ride that you had and remember what you saw or what you experienced that day. But anyway, enough of that. I do want to ask you guys another, what would you do? Actually, I have two questions for you, right? The first one, on one of the rides I was doing on my own, a guy stopped me and was asking for directions. He obviously was in his car and I was on my bicycle. He said that he's not from the area, if I knew where Enterprise rental car is so he could drop off the rental that he had. I am from the area a little bit, but I'm not too familiar with the area that I was riding in. I know my area, but I was, like 10 miles away from where I live, so I wasn't really sure I could help him. I went on Google Maps and I tried to find where it was and give him general directions. He didn't have Google Maps, so couldn't put it on his phone. And yeah, so my question to you guys, if you're riding your bicycle and somebody stops you, like on the car or a person walking or some other situation that you can think of, do you guys stop your ride and try to help them out, or do you ignore them? Or I know every situation is different. You have to assess the person, see if it's safe. I know there's a lot of variables, but let's just assume that it's safe for you to stop and talk with the individual. What would you do? Would you stop and help them out and maybe give them directions? Or another thing in this scenario, they're not a cyclist, so they're not on a bicycle. They're either a pedestrian walking, they're a person in the car, something like that. They're not a cyclist, they're just other people, right? What would you do? Would you stop and help them out, or would you continue your ride? And then the other what would you do is for the bicycle lanes. Sometimes, you have the two way where it's like a bicycle lane and one's going this way and the other one's coming this way, so people can be going on both directions. Like on that, I'll put a photo here for reference. So on those, when you are on the way back and your traffic's going this way and you're going this way and you're on the bike lane, and at some point this bike lane ends, right? But you need to now be on this side of the road to take a left or just to continue with your ride. Knowing that, do you stay on the two-way bike lane and then cross whenever it ends? Or do you just forget the two-way bike lane and just stay on this side of the road and ride your ride or your route? So that when you do have to take a left or when the bike lane ends, you're not on the opposite side of the traffic. Yeah, I'm going to put photos so it makes sense on the reference. Yeah, what would you do? Sometimes I take the two-way lane, but if I don't know the route, I stay on the two-way lane. But if I do know the route, I end up going on the other side because I know it's going to end and where it's going to end. And where it ends is usually not a good place to move over. So that's kind of what I do. Yeah, I'm curious to hear what you guys would do on both scenarios. I'll, put both scenarios again on the screen. And yeah, thanks for watching. I would also love to hear what type of bicycles you guys ride, how far you guys ride, what got you into cycling if you haven't done this for long, or if you're just starting, or if you're doing it for a really long time, what you would recommend I do. I'd love to hear more about you guys. And for the cycling computer and camera, if you have a recommendation for those guys, would love to hear it on the comments, like what you picked. I'm looking for something that will have like compatible with Strava, because I do want to record my routes, and something that has GPS that I can maybe plug in I don't know how that works, so maybe I need to do more research. But if you guys know something that I can maybe plug the route and it'll show me the route, the best route, because I usually do my phone on Google Maps and I do that. But if you guys have a recommendation, let me know in the comments. And then finally, I would love to hear any scenarios that you guys encounter, like what would you do scenarios that you have had, like, I don't know, a flat tire and like what happened, and you're curious to hear what other people would have done in that scenario, or buying a specific bicycle, like debating on two different type of bicycles. What would you do in that scenario? Like, I just want to hear your guys' what would you do. Maybe, I'll prompt them on the next video and have people reply back and we can talk about it. And yeah, because I think that you all have great input, and I would love to hear your guys' opinions. So yeah, comment your scenarios on what would you do, things that maybe you would want to hear other people recommendations or opinions on, and also comment what type of bicycle you have, how long you've been riding, and anything else. Love to hear from you guys. Anyway, that's it for now. Bye.